Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something huge. How do you stop feeling like you're just a passenger in your own career? Well, we're going to dive into the powerful one-page method from the book Business Model You to give you a real, practical roadmap for taking back the controls. You know, if you've ever felt stuck, like you're on career autopilot or just kind of going through the motions, you are so not alone. It's a feeling that, let's be honest, pretty much everyone can relate to at some point. And just how common is it? Well, the scale is pretty staggering. According to one survey, 5 out of 6 adults are thinking about a job change. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The vast majority of people out there in the workforce are actively looking for something different, something better. And that's the real trick, isn't it? How do you go from just thinking about a change to actually doing something about it? The problem for most of us is that we just don't have a simple way to map out something as personal and complex as our career. We need a better tool. And that is exactly the tool we're going to give you in this explainer. First, we're going to rethink what a career even means today. Then, we'll help you shift your mindset to see yourself as a business. After that, we'll introduce the amazing one-page plan that maps it all out. We'll zero in on the true value you provide. And finally, we'll give you a concrete first step to start reinventing yourself. All right, let's jump right in with that first piece, rethinking your career. Because the hard truth is, the ground is constantly shifting under our feet, and the old career playbook, it's pretty much useless now. You hear about things like new tech, global competition, disruptive business models. These are not just buzzwords. They're forces that are totally reshaping the workplace. And this isn't some temporary storm. This is the new normal. So in this environment, adapting, well, it isn't just a good idea. It's the #1 skill for survival. So how in the world do you navigate all this change? It all starts with a really powerful mental shift. You have to stop thinking like an employee who's just waiting for instructions and start acting like a one-person business. And by the way, this applies whether you're a freelancer, an entrepreneur, or even working inside a giant company. You know, every single organization, from a massive tech company to your local coffee shop, runs on a business model. It's really just a simple way of describing how they operate, how they create something valuable, and how they stay afloat financially. Okay, now here is where it gets really interesting and powerful. We can take that exact same logic and apply it to ourselves. Your personal business model is simply how you use your unique mix of interests, skills, and personality to create value. But here's the key difference. In a traditional company, the main asset might be a factory or some software. In your business, the most important asset is, and always will be, you. But, okay, how do you actually see your personal business model? It feels a little abstract, right? Well, this is where the main tool of the whole method comes in, the personal business model canvas. And honestly, for professionals and entrepreneurs, this thing is an absolute game changer. I want you to just forget about those dusty 50-page career planning documents. The sheer beauty of the canvas is its simplicity. It takes this huge, messy, complicated subject, your entire work life, and it organizes it into a clear, visual framework that you can see all at once on one single page. And it's made up of these 9 building blocks. But instead of a bunch of corporate jargon, it uses plain, simple personal language. So key resources just becomes who you are and what you have. Customers becomes who you help. See? Each block just asks you a really basic, critical question about your professional life. Now, all 9 of these blocks are important, for sure, but sometimes really focusing on just one of them can create a massive career-changing breakthrough. So let's zoom in on the block called Value Provided, or put more simply, How You Help. And to really see how powerful this can be, let's look at the story of Mika. She's a translator who worked mostly with law firms. Now, she thought her job was pretty straightforward, but using the canvas actually showed her a much, much deeper truth about the work she was doing. This right here perfectly illustrates that crucial difference. Mika's big aha moment was realizing she wasn't just performing a task, translating documents. She was providing an incredibly high-stakes value. She was helping her clients win multi-million-dollar lawsuits. One is a service you can get anywhere. The other is absolutely indispensable. So you have to ask yourself this question. It completely reframes your whole career because you're not getting paid for the activities you do. You're getting paid for the problems you solve and the value you create for other people. Really getting that distinction, that's the key to unlocking your true professional worth. All right, probably the most important point I can make is that this isn't just some interesting theory to think about. The canvas is a practical, hands-on tool. It's designed to get you to move from just thinking to actually doing, maybe even the moment this explainer is over. And you really don't need a business degree or any kind of fancy software to get going. The whole process is designed to be as simple as possible. The entire point is to take this big, intimidating task of career planning and make it totally accessible to anyone. So, you ready to start? It's really this simple. First, just grab a piece of paper and a pencil. Sketch out the 9 blocks. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, start with the easiest one, key resources. That's you. Don't overthink it. Just start listing your interests, your skills, your personality traits. The goal here isn't perfection. It's just to get an honest snapshot of where you are right now. And I want you to think of this first draft as your personal hypothesis. It's just a picture of your current professional self. It is not set in stone. It's a baseline, a starting point that you can now look at, analyze, test, and, most importantly, consciously change to build a more satisfying and fulfilling career. And that's really why this matters so much. By mapping out your professional life on a single page, you suddenly gain the clarity and the power to redesign it, one piece at a time. So as we finish up, I'll leave you with that question. Your answer to that is the true starting point for your own career reinvention.